What's up, guys? It's been a while. Kind of been MIA. Got the Xbox One, PS4, having issues with the laptop. Elgato taking up a lot of space, pretty much. So I'm gonna try and breeze through this video. A lot of the information you can find on my last two videos. I posted about 2K in regards to playing on-board defense. Now, like I said, usually, nothing is easy. All of those things I'm not going to be reiterating. I just want to show you guys several games that I have played in which, I let the defense pretty much control the tempo of the game and, play to the style that I want to. So, as I always stated, my last video, something I will state, though, is that you want to pay attention to the guy you're playing against profile. This guy averaged 77 points a game. That's pretty good, I believe. I'm not sure of the actual averages in regards to online playing games, but he averaged 77 points a game. I looked at his strengths and weaknesses. He shoots a lot of threes, but he scores like 30 points a game in the paint. So, he picked the Spurs, I picked the Pacers, and pretty much what I'm going to do is try and slow down Tony Parker, which is usually the biggest threat when it comes to playing the Spurs. Tony Parker pretty much kick and pass, driving pass, pardon me. So he gets to the middle, everybody collapses. He kicks out, hits the open three-point shooters. They have a lot of them, and that's pretty much what he was doing this game. He was hitting a lot of shots, like contested shots, everything. You could tell he plays a lot with his team. This is actually probably one of the best games I've played online in a long while. In the beginning it was pretty. I started off taking off the game. Taking over the game. Started blowing him out, but he in the second quarter, which I'm not gonna show. Like I said, for time purposes, he really willed the team back. Actually, shut me down in the second quarter, and I didn't score as much. I'm going to show the stats at the end. Like I scored as much, but I think it was like a bad percentage shooting type of thing. I started off pretty hot. He started off, I was contesting shots. He was missing them, but he just started hitting the same shots he's missing. He just started hitting, and like I said, you got to take what you get. Wanted to stop the three-point shooters. I was playing defense, and they were still hitting the shots. But like I always state, nobody's hot. You know, for a whole game, it's just impossible. So yeah, I sped up the clips, to try and make sure it fits on YouTube. Make sure you guys aren't staring at the screen for 30 minutes. People start to skip through videos. You really don't get the gist of what I'm actually doing. But another thing I reiterate is you want to tailor your defense to play to the offense, but you don't want to change your game plan. So if you come in against the Spurs and you're like, you know what, I'm going to let Tony Parker score 60, but I'm going to stop Danny Green and Kawhi Leonard from putting up 20 each. That's your strategy, then stick with it. If you want to give them shots, as long as they're tough shots, or if you want to allow them to get to the rack to stop the three-point shooters, whatever strategy you decide to use, stick with it. With the Spurs, like I said, I wanted to just pretty much smother the three-point shooters. We did that. They was just still hitting shots. And, you'll see the result of that. And, I just did what I could to slow them down as much as possible. Eventually, third and fourth quarter, I'm going to show both of those quarters is when the strategy actually took effect. And we started to pull away towards the end, So, like I said, enjoy the video. Any questions, shoot me an email. My email is kingsin, spelled the same way, at gmail.com. Or just leave a comment here. Like I said, I got Elgato. It started to slow down my laptop. I had to buy more memory. I have a lot of footage that I haven't even played. This game is from like December or November. It's pretty old. I haven't even played 2K14 for the 3 in a while. I'm going to start to get back into it this week. Got 2K14 for the PS4. It's pretty horrible, in case you guys wanted to know. It's just pretty much graphics. Gameplay is pretty bad. So, yeah, I actually like the one for the PS3 way better. So, I'll be on that a lot. This week I'm going to try and post about 5 separate games, showing mostly defense. Like I said, that's more my thing, not offense. So, yeah, enjoy the video. Any questions, leave comments. I'll jump in and out, go over certain portions, but I pretty much explained the game. I explained what I wanted to do. It was mostly man-to-man, half-court trap, a mixture of the two. I'm actually going to start doing a lot more full-court trap a lot in games, to slow offenses and play to the tempo that I want. You don't want to stay in the same defense for the whole game, though. People will eventually start to see the weaknesses, and then they'll just start exploiting them. So I usually jump back and forth, never give them anything easy, contest everything, and that's my strategy. But yeah, any questions, hit me up. I'll be glad to answer.
You look back at all the great defensive teams in NBA history, and not a lot of them were a group of amicable guys.
It's true. I mean, this is a great defense, and sometimes you have to ruffle feathers and get in people's faces in terms of being tough and gritty defensively. And I think the Pacers understood that.
And it's Paul George with the foul. That'll be his second foul of the game.
Tough call there and a tough break for the defense.
But I think you could still see him kind of sliding in there. I don't have a problem with the call.
6 on the shot clock. Ginobili.
Well, they find themselves with a big deficit here in the first. One category that jumps out at me, second chance points. Only one bucket for him.
George against Ginobili. And George, here we go. And he bangs it home with one hand.
Maybe could have tried for a more memorable dunk than that.
And we know he's capable of those memorable dunks.
But they've got a nice lead. Don't take any chances. The simple one-hander is just fine.
A little shot fake there, got the D out of position. And it's Indiana's ball. They're on a 13-4 run. Banked in off the glass. George has got 17 now.
He's just been the man since the start of this quarter. And just a tremendous period of basketball for him.
Ginobili, that's for 2. Misses off the right iron.
He's missing a lot of shots out here. Offensively, he just has not been able to produce in this quarter.
Here's George. Here's Hibbert. Laid in with a nice touch off the glass. Hibbert's got his first basket.
These defenders are not putting up much of a fight on the interior. It's been embarrassing. That's 10 consecutive points allowed in the lane.
And that's not the kind of streak you want to have if you're playing defense.
Hill up top, covered by Parker. There's 25 seconds left to play in the first quarter. George dishes to West. Indiana needs to get a shot off. The shot by George, no good.
Well, that was not an easy chance. He tried his best to beat the clock there.
Now they've got to make it easier on themselves instead of really being forced into that kind of a play at the end of the shot clock.
The halftime show with Damon Bruce for all the highlights from our first half.
Okay, so like I said, third and fourth quarter, he bring his team back in the second quarter. He pulled it close. He actually slowed me down. I forgot how much I scored in the end of the first quarter. I think it's 20-something. So probably scored like 15, 17 points in the second quarter. He came back. He's only down 6. I think he was down like 15 going into the second, something like that. I'm not really too sure. Like I said, all of that will be at the end of the video, the stats. But third quarter, I usually use the first quarter to gauge the way the team is going to play, but he really changed his team up. In the second, changed the strategy offensively and defensively. He plays real good on-board defense himself. You've probably seen a few of my videos. But he plays on-board defense. He was contesting pretty much everything. Like, nothing was easy for me, But what I started to catch him on was he was doubling a lot. And once he started doubling, I just started hitting, moving the ball around and getting it to whoever I trusted to hit the shot. I didn't really shoot with Lance Stephenson in the first half. Paul George is pretty much on fire. So what he started to do in the second half was double Paul George, and that's when I started to go to Lance Stephenson. The game, like I said, you got to take what you get sometimes. I really don't trust the Roy Hibbert, David West thing because 2K just pretty much makes it insanely impossible to really score with your bigs down low. Unless it's going to be like a Dwight Howard, Blake Griffin, like Lob City, whatever. You can't really post up because, team send a double team, ball gets knocked out of their hand easily. It's pretty frustrating because I like to play an all-around type of game. I don't like to just chuck up threes or shoot twos or whatever the case may be. But, sometimes you got to do it because, like I said, it's pretty difficult to score in the low post. Like, even when I play with the Spurs and I try to use Tim Duncan, backing down, you don't get the same effect as Tim Duncan would. A lot of times it's just pick and pop type moves. That's why I use a lot of power forwards that can hit mid-range jump shots. David West, Luis Scola off the bench. Play with the Spurs, Tim Duncan could hit the mid-range jump shot. Teams like that. OKC, Serge Ibaka. I like to play with defensive-minded teams because, you know, it's only so much offense you could do in the game. You know, if your team is cold, your team is cold, and offense is just not going to work. Obviously, you know, you're going to have to turn your defense into offense, get easy buckets, get fast break buckets, you know, steals, blocks, whatever. Yeah, we started to pull off in this quarter, blow the lead wide open to about 20, and in the fourth quarter, we, you know, keep them from surging back. You know, open shots really kills this game. You know, same release pretty much, and I missed it first time, made it the second time. So, yeah, like I said, pay attention to the video. Any questions, leave comments. I'll try and answer them as much as possible. I'm more online now. Like I said, my laptop was moving pretty slow, but all the videos got more space now, so should be good to go. Any questions, hit me up.
Baseline try, and the basket by Scola. And the Pacers lead by 15.
Whatever their plan was defensively that time, it didn't work. Not if it results in that shot.
Leonard against George. Takes the three, and it's Leonard. That time on the assist by Diaz. That's 12 points for Kawhi Leonard.
Well, you know, he has shot the ball well, but it has not been contagious. And his teammates, they haven't had the same groove, and that's why we're looking at this result so far.
The shot by Mahinmi, no good.
Coach Popovich was fined last season for sitting out his top players in a nationally televised matchup against the Heat. I certainly understand the league's posture there, and it was a lot said about it. Yet, for a veteran team like the Spurs with championship aspirations, I understand resting key players during the course of the regular season.
Here's Stevenson. Soft touch off the glass. Checking out in the West early in the season. Take a look at the Spurs and checking out San Antonio. Tied right now. There's the feed to Bellinelli. Outside Leonard. Connects from three-point range. Leonard's got 8 points here in this quarter.
He's starting to heat up from outside. That's his second this half.
Hill dishes to Mahinmi.
Or no go.
Well, a phenomenal aerial assault there, fellas.
And as you might expect for the team with the second best record in the West, the Spurs dominated the East last season, played each team twice for a total of 30 games, and went 25-5 in that stretch.
And as hot as he's been this quarter, the game plan should be simple. Get him the ball and get out of the way.
Here's Mills. He's guarded by Hill. Mills with it. Right now averaging 7 points a game. Shot clock at 6. And it's blocked by Copeland. They retain possession. Mills can't hit.
I thought he'd make that one. And that's his range, and the defense nowhere to be seen.
And yes, sir, that one drops. Hill's got 5 now.
They're playing with a purpose, guys. The big lead becoming bigger. I like the look in their eyes.
And it's on both ends. It just doesn't make any sense. That's a meaningless play.
Here's Leonard. And no good. The dry spell continuing for him. And moment now to quickly take a look at the offensive approach for the Pacers.
Guys, the passing we've seen from them has been tremendous. Very unselfish.
And I'll tell you, the other thing that's been a factor is the transition game. They're scoring a lot of points on the fast break.
On the floor for San Antonio starting the fourth quarter. The guards, Parker and Bellinelli. Boris Diaw is out there with Splitter, and it's Leonard in at the 3 spot. And that'll be San Antonio as it goes out of bounds. Spurs retain possession. And here is Parker. And the call will be against George Hill. That is his first foul of the game. The Spurs making a switch here. Duncan's checked in. And that one's good. Parker.
Perfect inbounds pass and an easy 2 points.
Here's Hill. Right side Hill. No good with the wing jumper.
That's a tough one there because he's wide open. That's a shot he expects to make.
Duncan with a screen on Hill. Outside, Bellinelli. Offensive rebound. Duncan. West with the block.
Well, they've been better than good on the glass today. There's a glaring discrepancy between these teams in that area of the game.
Yeah, and that's what's paved the way for them to build this big lead, no question.
Parker against Hill. Dishes it to Stevenson. 6 to shoot. And the call will be against Tony Parker. And that'll be his 3rd foul so far. Manu Ginobili, he's checked in for San Antonio. Knocked loose. Hill kicks to Stevenson. Puts it up from 15. No good on the shot, a bit long that time. Spurs trail by 20. Parker fires. It's on target from the high post. Just about 1.5 minutes gone by here in the fourth. Outside Hill. Hibbert. The dunk and the foul. A powerhouse move, and he's got a chance for one more at the line. Tim Duncan picks one up.
Now that was pretty. That was just a nice-looking reverse jam right there.
Use the rim, Clark, to protect the ball, I think, too, a little bit.
Yeah, did a nice job with it.
Yeah, no question, Kevin. Great awareness and terrific finish.
Out to Parker. It's stolen by West. Now the Pacers moving it up. West leading the charge. A nice shot by George.
I'll tell you what, I need to see some more assertiveness out of these defenders. They're not getting the job done.
Yeah, that's 10 of the last 12 points they've allowed on good looks right at the rim.
Good. 20 points for Tony Parker. Pacers leading by 20. Hill up top, covered by Parker. The 10-footer. And he didn't get quite enough under that one. The Spurs have gone 3 of 5 here in the fourth quarter. Pretty good numbers coming out of the break. Leonard attacking, and there's a nice one-handed slam.
The one-hand slam is so sweet when it's his hand doing the slam.
Oh, yeah, he is so smooth, even on a power finish like that.
Yeah, that's part of what makes him unique, that combination of power and polish.
The shot by George, no good.
Well, there was no hand in his face right there. I thought for sure he was going to knock that down.
And Lance Stevenson picks up the foul. That'll be his second foul of the game.
This club last season, which was, I think, one of the highlights of the year.
Catching up on the changes now for Indiana. Mahimi's checked in for Hibbert. Scola comes in for David West. And Chris Copeland subbed in for George Hill.
And their solid play in the paint continues, guys.
Well, that's been the focus, Clark, as we've watched. I mean, they've created one chance after another inside.
Steve was talking about this moments ago about the sweep. Not easy to do, certainly, when you take on an opponent, one you know. And even if it's just a 2-game series like this one is, and it won't be any easier this year, I don't think, either, Clark.
No, it won't. I mean, we can be pretty certain, Kevin, that both of these teams are going to be battling for the top spot in their respective conferences. So the games between them will be hard-fought and tough.
Here's Stevenson, and he converts the layup. Stevenson's got 14 points now in the second half.
Some defensive breakdowns are starting to show up now. Their last 4 buckets allowed have come from very close range.
And giving up these easy chances is going to do wonders for their confidence.
The Pacers making a switch here. Butler's checked in.
That mid-range jumper, just another one of his weapons.
Stevenson passes to Mahimi, and out of bounds as the Spurs gain possession.
Looked like some miscommunication there offensively. Those guys were not on the same page.
Here's Parker, on target from 13 feet. Parker's got 10 points now just in this quarter.
Well, his scoring this quarter has been off the charts, and the complexion of the game as a result may change.
It's an aggressive play. Heads up defending, deflected away.
Gets the bucket.
Well, that puts the nail in the coffin. A clinic in terms of how to play with the lead right there.
Three-pointer. That's good. Parker's got 27.
He's really stepped it up this quarter. Looks like he's determined to get them out of this hole all by himself.
And George, here we go. 1:16 left to play in the final quarter. Goes back up, and George finishes inside. George has got 9 points now in just the second half.
He played an important role in their offense today, guys. Without him, they may not be in the league.
Parker outside. No good.
It's been a great day for them on the boards, Clark. That's definitely been a major factor in building this big lead.
And, you know, from a number standpoint, the advantage might not be that large, but they have been manhandling them inside. You always want a player to have his head up and to be surveying the court, but not if that's going to be the result.
So San Antonio goes with a fresh 5 on the floor. Shot by Joseph, no good. Indiana's gotten a positive outcome on 7 of their 14 three-pointers in this game. Not bad at all. And here's Stevenson for 3. Offensive rebound. Back to George. He dishes it to Copeland. Pass to George.
And the fans loving what's transpired here tonight. A really good victory for these guys.
Sure was. I mean, they did just what they needed to do to keep the visitors from getting any momentum going at all.
All game long, guys, he's been getting it done. Really doing a nice job rebounding.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, they've had a major advantage on the glass, dominating that stack.
From outside, off the mark. Outside, Green. No good there. So no problem for Indiana as they get the win. You know, Clark, every team has a bad night.
I wonder if I take you there. Would you believe in fairy tales? Oh, a place where no one feels the pain, living without suffering. Roads are paved by loving hands, energy from turning fans. Oh, so won't you open up your eyes so you can see this paradise?